Hi there everyone, welcome back to Infinity Drones. Today I've got some amazing news for you guys. We are going to unlock my Mavic 2 Pro to remove the no-fly zones as well as the altitude limits and enable FCC boost mode. And this new mod, this new version is absolutely exciting because it supports almost all DJI drones. So if you guys want to and you guys are ready to apply the mod, all you need to do is just simply go to the Drone Hacks website. Please make sure it's the Drone Hacks by Think Awesome. Once you've opened the site, you will have a couple of options to choose from. Obviously all these unlocks are going to be at your own risk, so if you are going to proceed with this, please make sure you understand and fully agree to all the terms. Now in our scenario, I would like to mod my DJI drone. The first thing you'd like to do is just maybe go check the bird map out. The bird map is going to show you what drones are supported and what you need. If you don't understand, there are options where you can click on which license do you need and so forth. In my scenario, I've already done this previously on another drone, so I'm going to do this now on my personal drone as well. So I'm going to click on the Mavic 2 Zoom and Pro option, and you're going to see all the options available. Now this new mod is absolutely amazing because it runs on the latest firmware. It supports all of this. So where you see the recommended firmware, you can now ignore this and you can just click on the latest firmware on the bottom of the page and it will show you what mods are available. So in this case you can see that the free, or just the Drone Hacks application itself, is going to allow you to flash your firmware, modify your parameters so you can increase your speed and so forth. I'll show you how to do that as well. And if you'd like to enable FCC mode, this is obviously to increase your range or signal strength if you're outside of the US, but there's also a boost option. So if you are in the US, you can still enable FCC boost, which will increase the output of your remote or your signal even better, or even more. So the last one, the one I'm most excited about, is we can now remove the altitude limit as well as the no-fly zones using the certificate. So you need to have the correct license for this one. Now, if you do not have a Drone Hacks account, I would simply click on my account and then you can go to the sign up option and you can go register your email address. Now, this is where you guys need to think ahead. Is the drone something you're going to keep for a long period of time? Are you in the process of maybe thinking about upgrading your drone and so forth? Because if you are, I actually recommend creating a separate Gmail account for each drone that you're going to mod on the Drone Hacks application or purchase a license for. And the reason for this is if you sell the drone, you can now give the Gmail account or whatever account you've created with the drone, because the license is linked to that login details. So in this case, I've already got an account on my name, so I can just log in and I can go view my profile, or I can purchase more licenses. But if you are new to this, I would recommend signing up and getting an email account that is dedicated for that drone, purely because if you ever want to get rid of the drone, you can then give the account with, and the person purchasing the drone can then get all the benefits of the Drone Hacks license that you've already purchased. Because the license is linked to the drone serial number, it's not transferable between one drone and another. So in this case, all you need to do is you can go look at the pricing options. In this case, I don't have anything in my shopping cart, but if you have already selected maybe a pricing option for yourself, so if I'd like to go and purchase a license, I can now go and buy a license. Now if you want to buy a license, obviously you're going to have a few options, but we want to obviously upgrade my DJI Mavic 2 Pro. So in this case, I can go choose my bird, which is my Mavic 2 Pro, and I can go buy a regular license. If you click on the license, it goes through the whole process of going to the cart where you can make a payment. My internet connection is unfortunately not fantastic, so as you can see here, the regular license is now put in my cart and I can proceed to my checkout. Now if you do make payment, you'll just get an email and it's just going to tell you that you have purchased your license. You're not getting anything, as you can see, there's no shipping cost or anything like that included, because it's just linked to your account that you've registered with. So make sure once again that you are signed up so the account gets linked to the correct email address. Now once you've done that, go to the download page. You can select whichever operating system you're working with. Currently it supports Windows and Linux. You can just click on the button on the bottom and it'll start downloading the application, and it's a very easy to use application tool. Now, if you are unsure of how the whole process works, you can always go to the options on the screen at the top here. You can go to the unlock certificate. It'll explain the whole process for you step by step, how to do it and proceed accordingly. So if you do go into the DJI Go 4 app, for instance, and you find that you don't have your certificate enabled, you can just go tick it on manually as well, because sometimes it doesn't always enable automatically. But I'll go through the process a bit later for you as well. Now you can also, like I said, go take a look at what options are available in the hack and the unlock certificate. It explains it quite well. So for those of you guys who would like to have some further reading, especially for those of you guys that aren't 100% sure what FCC Boost is. But further, well, let's continue to do the mod. As you can see, I've now completed my download for the DroneHacks application, and if you want, you can just open it over there. I've already got quite a few downloaded from previous experiences, so I'm just going to open my DroneHacks account. My login details, everything has already been inputted, so it's going to be easier for me just to proceed. So what you can do so long is, once the DroneHacks application has now opened up, you can type in your details and it is then going to log you into the application. But while you do this, you might as well turn on your drone. So in my case, I'm just going to switch on my drone quickly, and you're going to see that DroneHacks will detect it pretty soon. Now once it's detected, you'll see on the DroneHacks screen itself, it's going to say it's device connected, and then you can just click and check the firmware of the drone itself. So if you click on the welcome page, you'll see the version that your firmware is currently on. Now I already have a license associated with my drone, so when I connect it up, DroneHacks will automatically detect my license and it will start loading the settings available for me. Now if you do not have a license associated with your drone, a little pop-up is going to appear and it's going to show you that, or ask you to link the existing license in your account that's not assigned to a drone to this drone. You have then the option to click OK or obviously cancel it. Naturally, you would most likely assign that license to your drone. Now once the license is assigned to your drone, you're going to see that DroneHacks is going to say that the license is valid for the drone, and it's going to start loading the exploits that are available. Now this can take some time depending on your internet connection, so you just have to wait for DroneHacks to complete loading the exploits and then log you into the application itself. Once it's logged you into the application, it's going to start loading all of the exploits again, and just make sure that you are able to make changes to your drone. As you can see, I've now logged in. I can click on the hack parameter option, and you can see that my drone is currently in FCC mode. Now I would like to switch over to FCC Boost mode. What I have to do is select the box, click the apply button, and DroneHacks will do the rest. As simple as that. All we need to do now is just to wait for the mod to be applied to the drone. Once it's completed, DroneHacks can have a little pop-up to say it's successful, and then you can just restart the drone. So as you can see, we're just waiting now for it to complete. It can take a minute or two, but the pop-up should pop up any second now. Once it's complete, you can see the pop-up there. All you need to do is click the OK button, restart your drone, and then you are good to go. You can check in the app itself, but it would be easier just to restart the drone, reconnect it to the PC, and then go into the hack parameter option and check if the boost mode option is been selected. As you can see, I'm just connecting my drone, going to the hacks option now, just waiting for DroneHacks to detect everything. Remember, your internet speed will determine how long the exploits will take to load, but once that's done, all we want to check is if the boost mode option has been enabled on my drone. If it has, then the drone has been successfully modded to FCC Boost mode, and we can proceed to the no-fly zone mod. Now sometimes you're going to get an error message, and you're going to see it pop up any second now. That is because the internet speed is not great. The best thing to do here is just to click the OK button, restart the drone, reconnect everything, and then try again. When the drone gets connected, the loading exploit phase happens automatically. Now if you don't restart your drone, you might get stuck on the loading exploit page because it's errored out and it doesn't know it needs to refresh. So simply just restart your drone, it will automatically restart the loading exploit page again. Now in my scenario, Unfortunately, my internet is very bad, so I had to go through the process 2 times. Luckily, I succeeded on the second attempt. As you can see, I am now in boost mode. That means that the FCC boost mode mod was successful, and I can proceed now to install the drone hack certificate. Remember, the drone hack certificate will remove the altitude limits as well as the no-fly zones. So once again, just as easy as the FCC mod, just click the install button, and once you click it, a little pop-up is going to appear for you to agree to. Naturally, that is a place where you need to accept responsibility because you could be breaking laws in your country. Remember, just because you've removed the limits does not mean you are flying illegally. Autel, Parrot, none of those drones have any limits. But if you remove the limits, you can potentially be breaking the laws in your country. So please fly responsibly and do not break the laws in your country. Now once the certificate has successfully installed, a little pop-up is going to appear to tell you that you should not be upgrading your application nor your firmware. If you do, the possibility that the certificate will stop working does exist. Now all you need to do is restart your drone, and you can then proceed to check or go for a test flight. Now remember, if you don't want the mod anymore, you can simply update the firmware on your drone, or you can go into the DroneHacks application, go to the Hacks firmware option and click the remove option. Then it will remove the altitude limit as well as the no-fly zone certificate. Now let me quickly jump over and show you guys how to change the parameters of your drone. That is, if you want to make it a bit faster or a bit slower, it's completely up to you. All you need to do is switch over to the Hack Parameters tab, and it will then load the exploits available for your drone. It's just going to check the parameters for you. So it's just checking what is your current settings, and then you can make changes. So in this case, we can make changes to sport mode as well as to normal P mode. Unfortunately, we can't make changes to tripod mode or cinematic mode here. But if you do go to the advanced options on the right side, that will give you a few more options. So on this screen, if you want to, you can change a few options over here. So if I want to, I can make my descent speed faster or my ascent speed faster. And if I make anything over here and I'm not happy with it, all I can do is just click on the reset button again, and I can then just restore to the default settings. So there's no real risk here. If you want to play around with it, please don't make massive changes like I've just done. Just click the reset button. I would make 5-degree changes maybe at a time. If you want to do something a bit more advanced, you can click on the advanced parameter option. There's going to be a few more options for you. Now you can search for something. In this case, let's just search for tripod mode, and I can look at all the settings that are associated with that. Now please only make changes here if you know what you are doing. If you don't, leave this alone. You can really mess something up here. If you make a change here and you are uncomfortable and you want to go back to the previous settings, you can just close the screen, click on the set default values, and it will restore to the previous configuration. Now if you guys want more in-depth knowledge of the DroneHacks application, I really do recommend going to the DroneHacks website, reading all of the content there, or go to the Fly My Mavic YouTube page. A good friend of mine, he has a whole tutorial on how the DroneHacks application works. So simply go to Fly My Mavic, click the subscribe button, and follow the content that he's making there. He's really up to date and he works very closely with the developer of the DroneHacks application. Well done guys, you've now modded your drone. All that's really left is for you to go and test it out. So what you need to do is just go into the Go4 application or the Fly app, and then you can go check if your certificate is enabled or not. So log into the Go4 app, go to the top 3 buttons on the top right, and you're going to scroll down to the bottom where you can see the 3 dots at the bottom of the page. Now usually it will open at the drone icon on the top left. Simply tap on the 3 dots at the bottom, scroll down where you can see unlocking license, geo unlocking on the DJI Fly app, and then you can take a look at what certificates are on your drone currently. In my case, I've got a few that's from the app itself, but I'm more concerned about the one that's on the aircraft itself. So the DroneHacks one, remember, was loaded onto the aircraft. So just tap on the aircraft side and you're going to see that the drone hacks certificate is enabled. If it's not enabled, simply tap on the certificate to turn it on and off. Now remember, if you turn it on again, you're going to have to accept the liability questions. So just tap on the buttons and then proceed. Now if you are flying, you cannot disable this while in flight. But this is pretty cool if you want to turn off the certificate and enable the no-fly zones if you are in an area where you are maybe more sensitive towards that. But if you want to turn it on, you can simply come back in here, tap the certificate button, and it will then be enabled. As you can see that it's valid till 2030, so it's going to be there for a long time. Remember, once again, do not update the app and do not update the firmware on the drone. If you do, you will lose the mod. Now thank you guys for sticking around till the end of the video. Please consider to click the like and subscribe button, as it really helps out the channel. Thank you for watching, see you on the next one.